Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM21 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. We're back today for part 48 and it's a bonus episode because we are in the Championship playoffs. We've got third place Crystal Palace, both home and away, as we try and get past Brendan Rodgers' side. And if we can do that, is a final at Wembley against either West Brom or Millwall. Both sides we've got positive results against in our time at the club. So if you're looking forward to that one and you are enjoying the series, please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM21 content from two long-term stories, a transfer special in the Bangor City save yesterday, as well as the start to a European campaign. So lots to get excited about, lots to look forward to. But it all starts here, Derby v Palace, and if after 5 seasons we can have won a major trophy managed in Europe and then come down to England and take a side to the Premier League, having started in 20th place in November, this could be a remarkable spell. I am wary of the other side of things though. We had a similar situation last year with Charlton, albeit a little bit later. We flew up the table, got into the playoffs, lost out. It hindered us at the start of the following year, and we ended up getting sacked quite early on and having to rebuild. So I don't want to get too excited just yet, but Milivojevic suspended, Josh Onomah another key man in the middle out. There's a glimmer, there's a small chance. There's nothing on the schedule, of course. When you were last with me, it was for that nail-biting finish against Middlesbrough. We snuck into the playoffs in 6th place. The club atmosphere's improved, the managerial support's excellent, and everything is going in our favour. What we've just got to hope is, having snuck in, having not had that pressure on us all season, perhaps we can be the ones to spring a surprise. So without further ado, we're going to go and get straight into the matches because there's nothing else for us to worry about here. We're not going to hold up the proceedings. The youngster who we looked at in the youth intake a couple of episodes ago, he's making massive strides. So if we're still here at the start of next season, which I imagine we will be, he's someone we'll take a glance at too. But for now, this is the lineup we're going for the biggest games of the season. We've got Bulker in goal, Cash, Lenihan back in at centre-half, Clark and Messina make up the back four. Our assistant keeps telling us to bring in Samuels, the big January signing. But Messina's been so solid for us, I can't see how we take him out. I've brought Bielik back in the holding role, and the big decision is in central midfield. Max Bird has had 3 or 4 poor games in a row, so he's out, Ben Pearson's in. He's not been much better, but I want Bird fit for the second leg and firing. Jason Knight's alongside him, the Irish international. Hall and Whittaker in average form on the wings. And in fact, we might go and say to Whittaker, because he hasn't scored for a few games, and we know how well this works. We're going to criticise his recent form. If you want to keep your place in the team, you're going to have to start scoring soon. He says he's working on it. He's going to give us his best. And he's joined up front by Callum Morton, a man who's certainly not struggling to score. What a revelation he's been. Had scored 2 goals when we joined the club. Now has 25 with 4 assists. A fantastic player, a brilliant, consistent performer when played up front on his own. And he's going to need all the support today. CJ, Egan Riley and Jonathan Lecco back on the bench after spells out. And apart from that, we're as close to full strength as we can be. Medina's not really settled. We've dropped him out of the squad today, as we have Jordan Brown too. But that is our lineup and our squad for the first leg. At Pride Park, we've probably got to take an advantage. It's Derby v Crystal Palace. Let's go and see if we can do it. Let me know if you think we can down below. Well, as you can see, it's still a pretty good Crystal Palace team. Players like Josh Brownhill, players like Saeed Benrahma, Liam Delap, Sam Johnston, all Premier League players at the moment. Rico Henry's on the bench, who looks like he might be going up with Brentford in real life this year. They've also got the likes of Tom Lockyer, who's a Welsh international and a star at Luton Town in real life. And they've also got James Tavernier, who's of course made his name over at Rangers, where it looks like he's going to win a league title this year too. So this is certainly a difficult test. It's 6th v 3rd. We know we're heavy underdogs. What we want to do is give the boys a good performance, give the fans something to shout about, and hopefully get ourselves an advantage. Because then, if we can hold Palace for 15-20 minutes at Selhurst Park, we get the nerves settling in. We get the boys a bit worried. We get the fans a bit worried. And that's where we want to get them. But for now, into the first leg we go. It's Derby v Palace. And we got a free kick early on with Matty Cash. In towards Clark. Oh, it's straight at Johnston. Not sure what the hold up there was, but Johnston saves. And Delap's gone on the counter. What on earth's gone on here? Delap beats the lot of them into the box. And he's put it in for 1-0. Awful defending. Awful start. And it's Derby 0, Crystal Palace 1. A very bizarre turn of events in that highlight. And in the end, the visitors lead. Exactly what we didn't want to happen. But we've got a free kick on the right again with Matty Cash. Clark's up, off the keeper, and Lenihan puts it in. What a start this has been. 1-1 after 5 minutes. Save from Matty Clark's header. It was brilliant from Johnston. And Lenihan in to make the second. And we've got another set piece as Cash delivers. Johnston punches this time. And Palace again on the counter look a completely different side. The two defenders run away from him. They look absolutely petrified of the lap. And this time we get back for the challenge. But what on earth is going on? I'm going to have to leave an extra man back from set pieces now. Because as threatening as we are going forward, we look all at sea defensively. We'll be back in a moment. Well, it seems to have calmed down a little bit with those tactical tweaks, although we're not winning the set pieces anymore, which does make a difference too. As Clark gets it into Pearson, can we play forward down the left? We've talked to Whittaker about his goal drought. Will this be the game it turns? What a time it would be. He runs across the pitch and finds Jacob Hall. Takes on the fullback, gets to the byline. First cross is blocked. He still came out with the ball there, but eventually it is cleared to Bielik. He recycles it and goes back to Clark in the centre circle. Brings it forward from the centre-half position and finds Jacob Hall. He gets it in, Morton can't get there. Oh my word, it's disallowed. Sam Johnston, with no pressure on him, just completely drops it. It's awful goalkeeping. But he gets away with it due to the offside flag, because that would have been a massive howler. As Ben Rama gets it on the left-hand side. Top quality player here. Finds Connolly and now Brownhill. Another one of those Premier League regulars in real life. As Lockyer picks it up, the Welsh international. To Brownhill again. To Tavernier. Back into midfield, Brownhill just sitting there and playing the ball around as Lockyer picks it up on halfway. Out to the right hand side. They've got time out wide because we've sort of conceded the width a little bit. But Whittaker does get out there eventually. And as soon as they get into that final third, we press. And it forces the poor pass, which Morton nicks onto. Runs from halfway one-on-one. Dinks the keeper and in. And it's a brilliant finish from Callum Morton. We said he was the key man pre-match. And with 34 minutes on the clock, Derby have turned it round. It's 2-1 to the Rams. And Callum Morton is doing what he does best. And almost immediately, we've got another throw in an advanced position. Messina plays a 1-2 with Whittaker. Headed her away by Hardley, but only finds Bielik. He gives it to Knight, the Irishman. Finds Pearson, and again it's a poor pass intercepted. This time Clark nicks in though. Morton knocks down for Hall. Plays in Morton again. It's a great chance. Oh, it's almost a great finish. On his weaker foot, hits the outside of the post. And Derby starting to get on top. Palace collapsing, and Derby just need to take advantage. 2-1 at half-time. It really should have been 3. But you've got to say, it's been a very good performance. You wouldn't have expected this. 19 points separated us, don't forget. It's not like this was close in the league. But you so often see it with a side who finished third in the playoffs. That third team in the championship always seems to be the one that runs close. And then struggles to regroup and reevaluate after the start of the regular season. Or the finish of the regular season, sorry. As we start the playoffs, Palace in disarray. Whittaker coming forward in the second half and delivers it into Jacob Hall, who volleys in with aplomb. It's 3-1 Derby. We have taken advantage. And this is turning into a very special season. The meteoric rise is on course to continue. And we are now getting an awful lot closer to Wembley. A brilliant display, a brilliant effort. And now we've just got to make sure we don't concede again. 25 minutes left on the clock. I am going to make a change in the middle. Pearson is going to be replaced by Max Bird. He's just going to drop onto that support duty. We don't want to get too many men ahead of the ball now. I don't see a need for other changes because we're playing really well. As we've got a free kick on the left with Bird. The sub delivers. Hall heads in. How's he got that in from that angle? Right on the byline. Just glances it inside the post. The right winger not famed for his aerial ability. But my word, he's taken advantage there. And Morton's back chasing forward. Lockyer intercepts. And he gets it out to the right back. If we don't concede again here at 4-1, it would take a disaster for us to not win this. Not to go through to the final. But we might well concede because we are a bit ropey at the back. And here comes Seamer in midfield to Jones. Good play from Palace. They're keeping it well. They've not been deterred in their attacking play. And Walker gets into the box, slides it in. It's a great finish. One of the key men at the club there, Ronnie Walker. And it's 4-2. This is turning into a bizarre playoff tie as Cash throws into Jacob Hall, who's knackered. Beats his man though, delivers to Whittaker. It's 5-2. What the hell is going on? Derby County 5, Crystal Palace 2. We'll take Hall off because he's shattered. Lecco will come on for the last 15. But based on that performance, he's been a superstar again. And I'm running out of superlatives for these kids. There's always one. Whittaker ends the goal drought. We're looking in brilliant form. Messina's had an average game at left back. We will bring on Samuels for the last 10 minutes. But at 5-2, we take a 3-goal advantage to Selhurst Park. I promise you nobody expected this at the start of the night. The expected goals is 1.5 and we've scored 5. I mean, Palace have done pretty well with their chances, as Lockyer gives it away from a long clearance to Bird. Whittaker on the left. If we can get one more, we'll start to celebrate and prepare for the final. We won't know because he passes it out for a throw-in. And now we've got to make sure we defend this properly. On the right-hand side is Gerardo, the right-back, with a throw. Long downfield, which Samuels, the sub, intercepts. Finds Whittaker. Back into Clark, the centre-half. 30 more seconds. Can we nick a 6th? We can't. Bielik puts it out for a throw. It's an overhit pass. And surely that will be that. Just 10 seconds left on the clock. We can't be playing much longer. Connolly plays a 1-2 with Gerardo, the right back. Don't let them nick a goal. Don't let them ruin the celebration. They don't. Derby County 5, Crystal Palace 2. A stunning first leg, a stunning effort, a brilliant victory. And we will be back in a moment on Thursday night, as after 5 days rest, we're back at Selhurst. And surely we're favourites to get to the final. I'll see you in a moment to see if we can complete the job. Second leg time, and we've got a big advantage to hold on to, as we know. We also know who we'll be facing in the final. Millwall get through 5-3 on aggregate, and that's because they had a good 3-1 win at home, held them on the road. And for us now, we've got to make sure we can do the same. A boring draw on the road would be fantastic for us. I'm teetering with going a bit more defensive, because if we look at the last games against Palace, we drew against them in the league at home under our management. Away from home earlier in the season when we weren't in charge, it was a 2-0 defeat. And that worries me in the sense of, are the boys going to have a bit of a mental fragility there? Having said that, they won at home 3-0 to Millwall earlier in the season, and then under our management won 3-1 on the road. So perhaps if we get to the final, we'll be heavy favourites. But let's go and get into this second leg. We have got bad injury news, I'm afraid. Jonathan Lecco stepped up his comeback from injury. 2 months out, injured yet again. It's going to blight his career. He's such a talented kid. But unfortunately, that's going to cost him. So onto the bench comes Jesus Medina. Aside from that, I don't see a reason to change anything. I might bring Bird back in for Pearson, but is there any benefit? I don't know. Let's do it. As strong as we possibly can. The same 11 bar Bird in for Pearson. And the same bench, with the exception of Medina, who comes in for the injured Lecco. 3-goal advantage, we'll go a bit more time wasting. We'll talk about that when we get into the game. But the crux of it is, we've got a 3-goal advantage. And if we lose by less than that, we're in the Wembley final against Millwall. Let's go and see if we can do it. Well, a couple of changes in the Palace team. The main ones being Ajeti starts the centre forward, a good target man. And then also Ted Mengi, our Dundee United hero and a real-life Derby new signing, playing at centre-half there too. So, there's a couple of familiar names. Interestingly, I can understand Lockyer being dropped and Connolly and Tavernier. They didn't have great first legs. Liam Delap ran the show the first half. So why they've gone to a target man instead, I'm not sure. Maybe it's a change in mentality, a change in attitude. But for us, we're going to stick with it for now. If we concede early, we'll go time wasting. But I'm not sure we're going to. We're going to try and stifle them, try and frustrate them. It's Palace 2, Derby 5, and the hosts need to do something special to beat us. As we go from the kickoff straight away, never a good sign. It's our ball though with Darragh Lenihan, switches it out to the right to Hall and now Jason Knight. Out to Cash, who's still overlapping. We've still got that freedom on the counter. Out to Hall on the right wing again. To the byline early. What a start this could be. Hall into the box to Bird. It's in! It's saved to Whittaker who puts it in. And with 25 seconds on the clock, Derby County and myself were in dreamland. 6-2 on aggregate, 1-0 on the night. Surely we're getting to the final now. What a start. 20 minutes gone and it looks like it was such an important goal. As Palace cross, Clark heads away, only as far as Brownhill to Jones. Got those 2 goals against us before we took charge earlier in the season, and he's got the ball on the right again to Gerardo. Back to Brownhill, the midfielder. Chance to cross, forces the switch, out to the left back. Gets time on the ball, beats Matty Cash, gets into the area, don't foul him. He's into the box, Lenihan clears. But it's as far as Brownhill again to Walker. Scored a screamer in the first leg. Doesn't manage to put this one in. And that's the difference with that early goal. Palace would have been saying, let's reset, let's get back to square one. And to concede in the first minute must have hurt confidence. But that might not help ours. Down to 10 men as Whittaker goes off with a knock. The cross comes in from the right from the unmarked fullback. And Ajeti puts it in. Morgan Whittaker, we've got to take him off. a tight thigh, scoring goals isn't our priority here. So I'm going to bring on Archie Brown, naturally a left back, but has got that bit of quality further forward. So we can drop back to 2 wide midfielders later on if we need to. But as we get 5 minutes to the break, it's 1-1 on the night, and it's 6-3 on aggregate. We're still where we started, and I don't think we can complain. Palace have had the better of the shots, but not the better chances. And at half time, I think we're fairly comfortable. A wonderful performance, a good effort so far. We are just going to go a little bit more cautious. The fullbacks are going to go to wing-backs on the fend, just because they're struggling a bit further forward. Messina's on a yellow. He's not played well. We'll look at him if we need to. In terms of Max Bird, he's going to drop to a support duty. And in terms of our tactics, we're just going to time waste when we've got the ball in goal. We're just going to slow it down when the keeper's in possession. Once it's in open play, we're going to play our normal game. But for now, it's just about being a bit more cautious, a bit more calm, and a bit more relaxed on the ball as Clark finds Messina to Bird. Good football early in the second half here. Clark down the left to Messina, and Brown loses out in a challenge to Jones. Brownhill back to Mengi. Hero for us at Dundee United, but very much villain today. As Walker comes over halfway. Gives it away to Jacob Hall, and he finds Brown in the middle. Back to Bird. Out at left back, Messina's there. Instead finds Bielik. Knight gives it away. Poor midfield play. Why are we rushing on the ball? It's like a hot potato there. Benrahma in, Ajeti chases, and Bulka claims. Brilliant goalkeeping. Comes and smothers it high up. He gives it away with an awful goal kick though. We praised him too soon. Jones has got in. And just like that, Palace are back in the tie. Excellent goalkeeping, followed by the worst distribution you'll ever see. Samuels is coming on for Messina on a yellow, and suddenly there's a little bit of trouble. What I also don't get is at half time we put on the time wasting for the keeper to slow the pace down. He's tried to fly out with a kick there. What on earth is going on? Callum Morton up front has had an appalling game, something we've not seen for a long time. So there's some very bizarre things happening to us here. But with 15 to go, we've still got that advantage. Hall's on a yellow, so I'm going to replace him with Arvin Appiah. He's just going to be an inverted winger on support, I think. In fact, no, he can say as a winger. 15 to go, let's keep it tight. As Max Bird puts a corner in, to the back post, Mengi heads away. Brown back down, Morton's there. Oh, he's missed a sitter. He's 2 yards out, no pressure on him. He had to score. And if we end up losing by miracle, that will be the chance that costs us. And Palace only need 2 goals, and they're on the front foot again. As Ajeti picks it up to Giabi in midfield. 3 up with him, tries to switch the play. Seema brings it down, skins the fullback. Into the box, it's a good block. But it still falls for the left winger again. Chance to cross in. Clark misses his header. Oh, Tavernier's put it in. What on earth is Matthew Clark doing there? I'm going to drop Archie Brown to the left midfield position. I'm going to do the same with Appiah, as much as he can't play there. I don't really know what to say. We're going to go press him forward for Morton. Just try and keep him on the toes. 1 more and I think we've got extra time. No away goals here. Anchor man for Bielik. Slightly lower line of engagement for the striker. We have to be more careful. We're not going to overlap anymore. This has become a hanging on job, and after half a game we never expected to be here. An awful individual error from Bulka, an awful one from Clark, and now Tavernier crosses hardly down. Mengi's blocked, second one's in. It's 4-1, and just like that we have completely collapsed. Crystal Palace 4, Derby 1, 6-6 on aggregate. And if we go to extra time at this rate, which I wouldn't bank on, 8 minutes to go, I would not bank on us holding on. It's going to be all Palace. Archie Brown on the left-hand side coming forward. We need a moment of magic. Skins the fullback into Morton. Loses out in the air. Archie Brown's there again though. Chance to cross. Morton's there. Appiah's there. Heads just over the bar. We're still creating on the break, but we're out of puff. We're out of quality. And Crystal Palace are wiping the floor with us. They deserve more than 4 at this rate. And somehow we've managed to throw this away. It's going to be extra time. And we've got a big decision to make. Do we go all out where we were before? Back to our normal tactic. Try and take the game to them. I feel like we have to. So what we're going to do, we're going to get the wingers further up the pitch again. We're going to put the wing backs back to normal. On supporting duties, supporting the front men. No problems with that. We're also going to put Bielik back. Because let's be honest, we've looked awful since we've tried to do anything else. So let's just go for our normal game. Bird's going to go back to an attacking duty. In terms of the play, we're going to stop time wasting because we can't get away with it for 30 minutes. We're not going to slow it down with a keeper. Out of possession, we're not going to drop the line of engagement. We are going to look for the overlaps. And we're going to try and get back to what we do best. I'm not sure it's going to work because most of them are knackered. But into extra time we go. Palace won Derby 4, 6-6 on aggregate. And all the ascendancy is with the hosts who have been brilliant. We've got a 4th stub in extra time, so what do we go for? I think Bird. He will be replaced by Ben Pearson. I don't think we have any more subs after that. We don't. 4 subs made. Bert Pearson is on. The onus is on him. He's the only midfielder with any legs. As Bulker goes long to Brown. Flicks on for Morton. He's got him behind. Callum Morton, always reliable. But not this time under pressure. He's had a woeful game. And I don't know where it's come from. He never has these. His rating's going to dip below a 6 soon. Cash gets the chance to cross it. In-swinger to Giabi who heads away. Appiah picks it up. Still got the man over on the left. Goes alone. Appiah can cross. Finds Pearson. He shoots! Over the bar. It was wild. It was wayward. And what a day for goal machine Callum Morton to not have his boots on. The same day Morgan Whittaker gets injured. The same day Jacob Hall runs out of steam. And Ted Mengi, the man who took us to extra time here, is the man who might well cost us a place in a playoff final. It looks almost certain that we're going to penalties. Just 2 minutes of extra time to go. And Crystal Palace are on the way forward. Brownhill to Seamer. On the left-hand side, skins 2 men. Chance to cross. They're going to prevent it. Ajeti makes it 5. What a collapse from Derby County. We've got to go attacking with 2 minutes left. It is Crystal Palace 5, Derby 1. And that is thoroughly deserved. An awful display. Morton wasted a number of chances. And to throw that away from 5-2 up, 6-2 on aggregate after 1 minute of this tie is bordering on disgraceful. And I mentioned at the start of the episode what happened with Charlton in last year's head coach. Is the same going to happen here? Is this the start of the decline? Our director of football has got a big summer on his hands to prevent it because we are out at the semi-final stage of the playoffs. We'll skip ahead just so we can see the end of season review, but what a disastrous finish. We'll be back in a moment. We finished then with the end of season review. I'm sure, like myself, you guys aren't in the mood for this now either. We've got to put it in perspective though. We joined Derby in 20th place in November and we finished with a narrow playoff defeat to the side that finished 3rd. Callum Morton, awful in the last game under pressure. I'm guessing he's got something about big games and not performing. It says that he enjoys the big matches, so it must have just been an off day and a lack of service from the other players because he's used to having Whittaker and Hall there the whole time. Otherwise, a lot of the signings did well. Most of them weren't under our management. Samuels will probably get more of a chance next year. Who else joined in January? Egan Riley did okay in a few games off the bench. We finished 6th though, an excellent effort given where we were when we took over. The Cups, of course, we weren't really involved in. The first tie in the FA Cup, away to a Premier League team, we had to throw it. The biggest win was the home leg of the playoff semi-final, and we somehow lost the tie. It's miraculous. The goal of the season came from Bird in a 4-3 defeat at QPR, a game we showed on camera actually. And the match to remember was another one on camera in the last episode of Fulham, which basically wrapped up our playoff place. The club's reputation is fine, the revenue will improve with us at the helm, and Jacob Hall wins player of the season. He's a homegrown lad, he's going to get the extra benefit. But Morton with 25 goals unlucky. I guess he didn't play in the biggest game though. The key thing left here is the budget for next season. 49 million transfer budget and the wage budget stays very much the same. So the director of football has got a big summer on his hands. He's got plenty of work to do. Hendrik Almstadt, the German, it is all over to you. We'll finish on the competition screen just to rub it in that Millwall play Crystal Palace in the final. We'll have our 5-year in the future look next time out. For anyone who's new to the channel this year, we look across the game in the 5 years and all the clubs we've managed to see how they're getting on. And we will be back in 4 days' time for the transfer special in this one. A massive summer for our director of football. If you did enjoy this episode and this season though, please do put a thumbs up on it. Certainly dramatic, even if not in a good way. Subscribe down below for daily content from 2 long-term stories. We had a transfer special from Bangor yesterday. We've got Dundee United action in the eye above. And there's a link to the podcast channel up there too, with loads of championship content, including score predictions every single match day. But a massive thank you for watching. It's been a blistering 5 years in this series. I'll see you next time for the review. And then the transfer special. It should be fireworks. I'll see you there.